Good morning, all. Lovely to see you this Monday, and hope you've had a lovely weekend. And here we are at the start of another week on our yoga mats. So, setting the week, coming into a comfortable position, however you choose to sit. And then, once you've found that seat, you just take your gaze down to the floor in front of you. And just softening your gaze, taking the eyes into a kind of hazy focus. And in doing so, you're just softening that draw outwards of your senses. So for the next hour or so, just enjoying this space to come inwards. To bring awareness into mind, into the body, into the emotional body. And your eyes can shut as and when you're ready. And if you've got your palms on the knees, we'll turn them upwards and lightly connecting the thumb to the index finger, the second finger. Now breathe in and feel the lift up through your spine. And follow that lift all the way up along the spine, along the neck, and up into your skull. And then from your skull, when you come to an out breath, without letting the spine flop too much, but just feeling that sense of releasing downwards, down to its base. And holding the architecture of the body, the skeletal structure in place, you're just going to follow the rise and the fall of your breath, the rise, the ebb and the flow of your energy within the breath, through the body. And noting how your breath is rising from this pool of energy all around you. The difference being that you bring awareness to it. And so it appears to become more real. So bringing into the mind anything that you'd like to bring to your practice, maybe into your life, the hours and the days that will follow from this point. And trusting the flow of your intuition, innate wisdom that flows within us to guide, lead you forward into the moments that will follow from here. And your hands coming up to the heart, and as if you were flushing the body with goodwill towards yourself, just bowing your head down. And infusing your intention with the flow of goodwill towards all aspects of yourself. And your eyes can open again as and when you're ready to. With eyes open, then bring your knees up to your center line and find your way up and onto the feet and into a standing forward fold. You might want to just position this at the front of your mat, near the top of your mat, and feet hips width apart from one another, letting the spine fold down the length of the legs. Your arms can just fall in front of you. And if you very lightly move your skull from one side over to the other, as you breathe down into your belly. And then starting to roll your lower vertebrae up, your arms just hanging in front of you, just letting them swing a little bit, forwards and backwards. Take that roll of the spine up a little bit higher until you come up into standing. Now fill the top of the head, and as if you were lifting up into your crown drawing up away from the feet. Find your breath. And with an in-breath, we'll take a big circle up above the head, palms turning upwards at shoulder height. And breathing out, you guide your palms back and into the heart. Coming into another in-breath, another circle. And breathing out, the palms will come down the center line, making contact with the heart. Do another couple more. This time we're stretching out the sides of the body. So after your in-breath and the palms rising above the head, interlace your fingers above the crown of the head and reaching up with your palms. Now come into a arch over to one side. And then over to the other. So once you find the shape of the body here, then just let your breath arrive, depart through the body. And fingers turning up to the ceiling, palms facing one another, taking the arms into a slight V. And out breath, we'll take the arms down to the sides of the body. So shrug out your shoulders a couple of times here. Then accentuating that opening through the shoulder girdle, we'll bring the fingertips up to the shoulders, elbow points together. In breath, elbows will lift, and out breath, they're coming around the back of the circle. We'll take a few rounds here. Now we'll do the same amount the opposite way, so around 3 to 5 breaths. In breath, elbows coming around the back, and out breath down the center line. And then releasing the arms down to the sides of the body. Just a few breaths, arriving in standing into Tadasana. And within those breaths, you can feel contact of floor with the foot. Just feel the strength of the body. Let the breath arrive and go. The last couple of breaths, so just allowing your eyes shut. Taking rest within the body, within the breath. And flushing the body through with an intention of goodwill again. Eyes opening again, we're coming into a few gentle sun salutations. And breathing in, we'll let the arms float up. Just a gentle easing into the body. With your out breath, scan down the front of the body, down the center line. All the way down and into your forward fold. You can arrive with an out breath there. Now, offering your spine forward, hands to the legs or to the floor, breathe in. Soften your gaze as you arrive there. And then we'll take the palms down and we're going to step back into down dog. And a little bit of bend of the knees in down dog to enable you to draw thighs up and back, to lift up into sit bones. And then you're going to find your way down onto all fours, breathing in, arriving there. And out breath, pelvis will ease back towards your heels, finding length along the spine. Starting to move forward and breathing your way into cobra. And with your out breath, slow easing up and into down dog. Now adjusting your feet and then bending your right knee so you're rooting back into the left leg. Finding lift equally both sides of the body. To the other side, left knee bends. Then an in-breath, bring the heels as high as you can. And we'll start to walk the feet up towards the top of the mat. You can put a bit of bend in the knees as you need to there. And feet will arrive hips width apart, offering the spine, breathing in. Out breath, folding down. So coming to rise, roll up, root into your feet. Breathe in. And out breath, hands into the heart. A breath to flush the body through with gratitude, with goodwill. It survived. And then another in-breath. Big circle up and through the arms. Again, take time to scan down the front of the body. Until you arrive down into forward fold. Then in-breath. Light offering forward of the spine, the gaze soft. And out breath, hands down, and again back into down dog. So a little bend through the knees as you draw the pelvis up and back. And then taking the spine up and forward, draw up into your core as you lower the knees down, breathing in. Out breath, pelvis can remain high here as you draw it back. And then you'll ease the pelvis through onto the belly, into cobra. Out breath, down dog. So turning your gaze underneath your right armpit. Over to the left hand side. Back to your center line. In breath, heels high, a little bend through the knees. And out breath, stepping the feet up to the top of the mat. And breathing in, offering the spine forward. Out breath, folding. And in breath, lifting up, coming to rise. And out breath, hands into the heart. This time the option coming into plank if you'd like, if not carry on with the down, with the all fours version. In breath, palms lifting. And out breath again, taking your time to arrive into forward fold. In breath, spine offering forward. And out breath, plank or down dog. And either way, lowering down towards the floor, arriving into cobra. And out breath, easing up and back into down dog. So opening up in the hips now, with your in-breath, the right leg will float up and bending the right knee over towards the left. Let the right leg float down. And we're doing the same on the left-hand side. Left leg floating down. In breath, looking forward, knees bending. And out breath, again, feet coming up to the top of the mat. You can hop, step, walk, jump. In breath, spine offering. Out breath, folding. And coming to rise again, breathing your way up. Out breath into the heart. Into one more round. In breath, arms flowing up. Out breath, holding. In breath, off the spine. Out breath, down dog or plank. And lowering down. In breath, cobra. Out breath, toes tucking under if you're coming into plank, lifting the knees, pushing up and back into down dog. A bit of sway through the pelvis this time. In your down dog. And then we're going to step, walk, jump the feet up towards the top of the mat. So bending knees, heels high. Breathing in, out breath, moving forward. In breath, off the spine. And out breath, folding. Coming to rise, remember to root down into your feet. As you lift up and out breath into the heart. So one round more. I'm not going to speak this time, just moving with your flow. You haven't moved forward in down dog, getting ready to do so. And lifting up. Flushing the body through with gratitude, with goodwill, towards self. And arriving in some sort of standing balance. Choices, you can just come up into balance, lifting up the right leg, the ball of the third toe, just kind of lightly resting on the floor, just above the floor. You can lift up the right knee a little bit higher, just holding it there, or hugging into the chest. A couple of rounds of breath. Whoa. One more round. I was about to say before, just falling over, Soften the gaze, just see if it kind of changes the sensation of the body. So often that kind of sense of pull out of the body, it almost becomes a little bit of a distraction. So I was just kind of thinking about or feeling really, just how different it all kind of feels when you almost draw the gaze inwards a little bit more. Left foot coming down, right arm floating up, lifting it over the head, over to the left hand side. Follow that arc of energy all the way up and through into the right hand. And the next breath, we turn the gaze up towards the ceiling. And then releasing the right arm down to the side of the body. To the left side, left arm up and over. Find the curve of energy first. Through the left side, just let yourself relax into that. And then gazing up towards ceiling. And left arm coming down. Shrug out your shoulders now a couple of times. And then turning back to the front, the top of the mat, if you're not there. In breath, arms floating out. Breathing in. Out breath, coming down your center line and into forward fold. And from there, we're going to step back into a low lunge. Just adjust hands as you need to, your feet. And then breathing in, we'll lift the right leg up and back. And it will come down to the floor. Right knee follows. Breathing in into Anjaneyasana. And then taking the hands down, left hand will stay on the floor, right foot will tuck up and under, rooting it down to the floor, and we're lifting up into Trikonasana. So the right arm is going to lift up, following the lift through that left leg, up to the ceiling. Make sure your shoulder there is quite relaxed, a few breaths. Left hand can come to the left leg, the shin, to a block maybe. And then breathing out, slowly take your right arm over and down to the floor. We're going to step the right foot forward, up to the top of the mat. And back into forward fold. Rising up, breathing in. And out breath, scanning down the body again into forward fold. Take your time now to lift the left leg up and back. We'll drop down the left knee to the mat and start to lift up into Anjaneyasana again. We're finding our way down into Trikonasana. Both hands coming down, the right hand remains either on a block or on the right leg. Lift up the left foot, plant it down, And the left arm now will swoop up, lifting up through the front kneecap. Left arm lifts. Now take that left arm over the head, down to the mat again, and then the left foot will step forward, joining the right. Arrive in your forward fold. Coming up into chair, the knees will bend. Really connect the belly to the upper thighs here. Look forward. Arms can float out behind you. You're about to do a ski jump. And breathing in, the arms will float up, bending the knees as you do. Out breath, palms together, down the center line, and the legs will straighten back into standing. Head bowing down to the palms. And then head lifting, eyes open again. In breath, palms floating up the center line. Out breath, take your time, arrive into forward fold, scanning down. Arriving back into Anjaneyasana with the right leg. Right knee will come down, take time to lift up. Out breath, palms will come to shoulder height in Anjaneyasana. In breath, then lift up. Back down again. Lifting up. One more. And reaching forward and down, hands either side to the front foot. Again, find your way into Trikonasana. Right arm lifts up. We're going to transition from here into Warrior Two. So with the next out breath or so, the right arm will start to lower down. You'll bend your front knee and rooting down into the back heel, you'll lift up, both arms floating either side. Now hold the legs steady here, really anchor your feet down. Going to pull the bow now with the right arm. It's going to float over towards your left. Breathing out, arriving. And breathing in, drawing the right palm back. And out behind you. One more. Out breath, coming over. And in breath, back out. And windmilling both arms down. So you'll frame the front foot. And we'll step the back foot forward to meet the front foot. Going to arrive up into chair. And from there, lifting up, arms coming down into standing. A few moments, stillness. Then we'll float the arms up above the head. Drop your knees now, arrive in chair again. Then you'll scan your hands down your center line and into forward fold. Now left leg's floating up and back now. Arriving in Anjaneyasana, the left knee comes down. Lifting up. And out breath, palms to the shoulders. In breath, palms lifting up. Yourself 1 or 2 more rounds. And you're going to arrive down into Trikonasana again. Back foot down. And then take your left arm over, the front knee will bend. And you'll lift up, rooting down into your feet and up into Warrior Two. Now anchor the feet firmly there. And out breath, the left palm will come over to join the right. And breathing in, left hand comes out behind you. Into another round. And the final one. So windmilling down the hands now, left arm, and then the right arm. And this time you're going to step back and into down dog. And arriving in down dog, just give yourself a little bit of movement. Time, space. Just see what the body needs here. And then in breath, coming down onto the knees. And you're going to arrive back into child. Arms either sides of the body. And your head looking into the body. Flushing the body with goodwill the next couple of breaths there. And we'll take the arms forward. That will take you up onto all fours. And from all fours, just give yourself a couple of rounds or so, a few moments coming into cat and cow. And if you notice that the breath is following your movement, just flipping that on its head. Just keep the mind focused, anchored on your breath. And the movement following. And when you're ready, we'll start to lift up and into down dog. So using down dog as a base to come into pigeon now, a little bit of bend through the knees. And then your right knee will come forward behind the right hand, the right wrist. And the foot will cross over towards the left-hand side of the body. Do you find this not a fun, it feels inaccessible as a hip opener? You can come onto your spine and you can just bend the right knee into the left thigh and come into threading the needle there. Otherwise, sliding the left leg back, toes tucked under, as you just find your basis there. If you use any pillows you want or props underneath the body, either coming down onto the forearms or the hands. If you feel comfortable, you can bring the arms out in front of you. And the left foot can straighten. Now, when you're here, you'll probably become aware of all sorts of gross sensations, quite big sensations down in the pelvis. Now, noting those, just noting them as they are, but now see if you can find another sensation within your body that you're quite enjoying. It might be a more subtle sensation. The breath is always there. And take a few moments to rest in that. You can start to move the hands, walk them back in towards the body. Planting the hands down on the body, down to the mat. See if you can find a few moments to create a bit more space in the trunk of the body, whether through rolling the shoulders back, drawing up into the scalp. And then, hands coming forward a little bit, and we'll bring the right leg up and back into down dog. So you can bend each knee and turn a little bit to ease out into the pelvis. And then, when you're ready to, left knee coming forwards behind the left wrist. Foot will come over to the right hand side. Toes tucking under, slide the right leg back. And then, hands coming down to the mat. Using that as your resting point, or just taking the arms out a bit further if you prefer. And a few breaths in. You can take the right foot flat at this point. using your breath like an anchor within this. Balancing now at any intense sensations which kind of slightly overshadow anything else, with another sensation that's quite pleasant within the body alongside. And we'll start to walk the hands back in. And just arriving in a more upright position. And a few breaths here to acclimatize to a new set of sensation. And then again, hands coming down, back foot tucking under, and we're stepping up and back into down dog. And dropping down onto your knees now. And sitting back on your heels. Come into a gentle twist here, left arm over, left hand over to right knee. Twisting equally along through both sides of the body. And over to the other side. Arriving back to your center line, and we'll bring the legs around to the front of the mat here. Hands either sides of the hips here, toes flexing up. Breathing in, the toes will point away from you. Breathing out, toes coming back in. Away from you again. And back in. And back in. Then in-breath, reaching forward with the arms up over the head. Soften the gaze as you look up. And out-breath, arms floating down towards the legs or the feet. Take another in-breath, soften the shoulders. And out-breath. Seeing there's any more give in the spine to come into forward fold. And breathing in, we slide the hands up and into sitting. So crossing the legs or coming into a comfortable seat now. And once you're there in that seat, bringing your thumb up to the third finger Also up to the ring finger. So you've got the second and the little finger pointing away from you. Now the thumb's going to come to the right side of the nostril. The third and ring finger will come to the left side of the nostril. So come into alternate nostril breathing. When you press on the right side with the thumb, you'll open out the left side. Pressing on the left side with the third and fourth finger, you'll open out the right. So, breathing in fully, then using your thumb so you can breathe out of the left side. And we breathe in through the left. Block off the left side with the third ring finger. Breathe out through the right. In through the right. Over to the other side. Out, then in. Switch over, out and in on the right. And so on. Now, how relaxed can you make yourself, the body, feel as you do this? Just make sure there's no strain within you. The effort is a soft effort. Finishing the round you're on. And then your hands will come down to the knees or the lap. Now breathing in and feel the breath rising up through both nostrils, out through both nostrils. When you're ready to, we come into Shavasana for relaxation. We come into lying down when you're ready and eyes shutting for a few moments of rest. whatever you're feeling, whatever you're thinking. Just noting, coming into the breath. Find the breath within you, like an anchor for your attention. And connecting to your breath. Flow of goodwill. It moves within the body, through the mind. Infusing your awareness. Bringing this awareness to your intention you made for your practice. Bringing the same flow of goodwill into that. You will recognize it within you. Know it in front of you. Getting ready to move. Unless, of course, you'd like a bit longer in savasana, then stay lying down. Put fingers and thumbs together, and toes from side to side. And coming onto the side of the body for a few resting breaths with your eyes shut. And from there, find your way up and into sitting. And arriving in sitting, we'll lift hands up to the heart, taking them into prayer. And just a few breaths, bowing the head down to heart. And to the thread of the breath. Resetting your intention. And closing your practice. Thank you.